Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with Stinty Boy on GTA 5 learning there is a downside to a mighty wing. I mean, it's a very mighty wing you get on this vehicle. It's so mighty that when you try and go through a roadblock it might just get caught on a police truck. And when that happens, I mean, it's securely mounted on the car, I'll say that much, with the amount of pinging around that went on there. But yeah, not quite so ideal. Mustang Bugatti on GTA 5 racing against me. Actually, this was during one of the stream races. As we come out of the final corner, gets a good run behind, of course, with the slipstream heading up towards the finish line. As I run off the curb, we come across. Mustang goes to draw alongside, just misjudges the gap to the outside and pings the barrier, and that is game over. Jet Raven up next on GTA 5, playing a mission, messing around with some friends. As they come towards traffic, a Batmobile scoops their truck up, launches it onto the bridge, it rolls over a couple of times. I keep expecting it to come back down to land on the bridge, but nope, we're going to go for another spin, another twist, and we're back on the motorway. Just a little bit of a scrape off the barrier. It's all good, still pointing in the direction it needed to. Good stunt. Could have had a better landing. However, the stunt itself was rather impressive. A Revenge Racer up next on Forza Horizon 3 is playing a game of Infected, trying to chase down I think it's a pickup truck, hard to tell. Either way, the truck manages to clonk into a wall, and it looks like a cyclone to me, avoid the GTR. As the GTR spins back to try and catch the cyclone. A lucky, glitchy lag spike pings the vehicle well clear, and is then off and on its way. That's some serious luck for the pickup. Ultra Blakey up next on Horizon 4. Now, this was during filming with the tractors. We were all popping back out of a race into the lobby. And there's a weird thing that Forza does sometimes where it can't decide where vehicles are on people's screens. And when it can't do that, they end up just being pinged together. So on my end, someone was hitting my vehicle into the side of Blakey, and then we all just kind of get spat out the other side. We were just fired across the map for no good reason. I end up backwards into a tree. It didn't go well for us there. Tractors are just a bit too much. So Richard up next on Just Cause 3, going for a roll one way and then a roll the other way, and nicely landed. No real-time loss in all of that one. It's normally what you see reserved for the likes of Dirt Rally, for example. A Death by Numbers up next on the first of the Dirt Rally games, racing at Finland, is about to demonstrate, not quite so elegantly though, with the Quattro. A really heavy landing on the jump leads to a front flip and a spiral off into the scenery. I mean, it's a really vicious front flip from the Quattro, as we do two further ones in the air before coming back down to land. Not quite as elegant as the Just Cause 3 flip, that one. Quite a lot of height was done. We move up next onto Dirt Rally 2 with a very large two-wheel moment. That's might be one of the more impressive two-wheel. I've seen a couple of quite long two-wheel moments on Dirt Rally 2, but this with the Rallycross Corsa, it's just, it doesn't really just stays. It keeps its momentum and it keeps going up on, it keeps staying up on its side as all the way across the car. I mean, it misses half the track, but still it then comes crashing back down and is okay to carry on. Impressive moment, nevertheless. A Calvin Tola on Cyber Formula Road to Infinity 3. I've never heard of the game before, however, can still do some chaos up ahead. 3 cars battling for the lead. Weird shenanigans occur. I don't know what happens. Something freaks out. There's some sort of texture went weird as well, and the player car gets forced into the pit lane. Not really what you want to have go on. In super slow-mo, it's difficult to see as well. They kind of all just ping together, and somehow the player car gets screwed over in all of that. Regliska up next on, yes, it is Minecraft. This show does allow vehicles of any description, and technically a boat is a vehicle with weirdness going on. He was called to the top of there's a boat with 2 people in, one of them on alarm. The boat's not even in the water. That's not how vehicles work, in the slightest. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Up next, AI Tora on Wreckfest. This is an AI, so they're racing around at one of the oval circuits when the AI goes tries to go all Lightning McQueen, is up on the barrier, runs around, everything's fine, actually makes up some positions, however when falling off the barrier ends up in a little bit of traffic, can't push its way through a wrecked vehicle, gets absolutely pile-drived in the side, and that actually killed the yellow car as well that hit it, and they're all gone. A good move. Nearly, if that had managed to fall off the wall and got those positions would have been amazing, as it was. A little bit unlucky. Landing out next on Automa Blister with a mod for 2009 F1 cars that has some issues with Silverstone curbs, it's safe to say. Yeah, that's some issues indeed, as everything's bouncing and pinging around as another Ferrari comes through shot, going for 3 rolls before landing just about on its wheels. And yeah, that's not quite right, is it? It's not quite right. And finally, Knight's Viper on Just Cause 4 is calling in one of the supply drops. So when you do this, the Rebel pilots come along, drop a crate off, or with the stuff that you requested. The problem is, the Rebel pilots are in a cargo plane, and as they called it in relatively close to a building, the angle of approach for the cargo plane was a little bit wonky. It clipped. Well, it didn't hit the building itself. I think it must have hit like some radio masts or something on top of the building. Either way, it hits them, and now we're going for a spin. Yes, the plane is managing helicoptering itself. I'm not quite sure how it's managed to do this, but still it goes. It's not managing to either accelerate away from this or change any. It's just gonna spin itself around. I mean, the crate has arrived, but that's now of little importance when we have an aircraft doing shenanigans. I mean, a helicopter goes flying past. Now, it's not the easiest. I mean, this is not. I said not intended. It's not actually the easiest thing for the player to now go and get across to try and see what's going on. The plane is gradually going lower and lower and lower as we go along, and it's happening to spiral its way towards an airfield. Yes, you are all hoping that this plane can somehow miraculously land perfectly on the airfield, despite the fact that it's one of the largest planes in the game, spiraling, helicoptering its way. How it's still in the air, I don't know. It's just slowly descending. Helicopter almost takes it out as it flies past this airport. It's now right above the runway, and it's so close to managing to get down nicely. Unfortunately for it, it just clips the building. And there it explodes. There ends the tale of the weird, spinning cargo plane. I was so hoping that was going to land. If there hadn't been buildings there, I wonder what would have happened. Unfortunately, if it had been further along, there were other stuff as well it could have hit. I'm very curious as to what might have happened had a clear runway, but there we go. That is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There's a link in the description of this. At the very top of the page is the FailRace clip submission section, and in there you can find all the rules and how to submit them. However, that's going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.